All right, hey, it's Rob, and since I'll make a video pretty much about almost anything, I thought I would just mention this interesting fact that I learned while on a job. A couple of years ago, I worked on a feature film where we interviewed a woman who happened to be the heir to the Haagen-Dazs fortune, the Haagen-Dazs ice cream company, and we weren't interviewing her about ice cream. It was totally unrelated to that, but we learned some interesting stuff about ice cream that didn't make it to the movie, and this was just a fact that I found fascinating. So the Haagen-Dazs company was, I believe, started by her father, Reuben Mattis, and it was kind of a mom and pop ice cream shop in New York. Of course, it was high end, and they prided themselves on the quality of their product. The daughter who we interviewed, who is now in her 80s now, but her name is Doris Hurley, and she had the idea to franchise the brand and to really expand the presence of Haagen-Dazs worldwide, which she did. They eventually, I think in the 80s, sold it to Pillsbury, I think, for many, many millions of dollars, and that's the story of Haagen-Dazs. But what does it have to do with Duncan Hines, the brand Duncan Hines, who makes cake mix and all that kind of stuff? So, well, they were looking for a name for their high-end ice cream product, and they had a good association with the country Denmark. They're a Jewish family, and they said Denmark really treated the Jews well during World War II, so they wanted to kind of have a Scandinavian theme for their product. I think, matter of fact, there was a map of Denmark on the container when you bought Haagen-Dazs ice cream anyway, or an outline or something or other. But so they wanted to have some kind of name that referenced the country of Denmark. And they also liked the brand Duncan Hines because they thought it was just a quality brand when they were thinking, what is a quality, foodstuff brand? When you hear the name, you just know it's good, it's quality, it's good ingredients. And they thought Duncan Hines. Well, they knew they needed to make up a name that had some kind of Scandinavian feel to it. And so Reuben Mattis, the father, started just thinking about the name Duncan Hines. And he thought, how can I have something that kind of echoes that, but it's still Scandinavian? And this is what I got from his daughter, Doris Hurley. This is, like I said, how she explained it when I was there. And she said, well, he just sat there and he said, Duncan Hines. And then he said, Hunkin' Dines. And then he said, Hinkin' Dinkin. And then he said, Hunkin', Hinkin', Duncan, Dukin, whatever. And eventually, all these kind of nonsense names, they flipped around. And so instead of Duncan Hines DH, it turned into HD. And it got to the words Haagen-Dazs. For whatever reason, that's what sounded good to him. And that's how Duncan Hines turned into Haagen-Dazs. Doesn't mean anything. Has nothing to do with Denmark or the Scandinavian people or anything like that. It just was the idea that they had, and they needed this name, and that they started with Duncan Hines, and just by a process of just slightly changing different pronunciations and things like that and flipping the letters around, they ended up with Haagen-Dazs. And there you go. That's it. That's what I got for you today. Later.